Hey guys, how's it going? I'm going to be doing a series of videos here on how to make a Stihl MS391 a good, reliable work saw. I do know these saws have their fair share of problems. Took me a while figuring out. I think I got all the little problems figured out. Some of them were big problems, but over the weekend I ran this, I don't know, ran half a face cord, pulling noodles, cutting firewood, and no issues. It's not running hot. That was the main issue I was having, causing, piston issues. Not now. I can explain all the little things I did, but like I said, I did have a lot of people comment me on my channel asking questions. A lot of their saws did blow up. A lot of their 391, 311s, where they couldn't get it started, or scored piston failures, coil failures, issues. We'll go over all that. Same thing with muffler issues, bearing issues. There's a lot of it. It's a shame. Much you pay for this saw, there's just a lot of problems. But like I said, I got them all fixed. It seems really good. Okay. Now, things we're going to go over today is this clutch drum upgrade. Okay, rim sprocket, better bearing, an ignition coil. Okay, I think that's a big issue with these saws. I'll get into that in a little bit. But if you want to use this clutch drum here, okay, I think there's even a part number on there. Okay. This is from an 046 or Stihl MS460. Okay. Same thing with this bearing. It's the heavier duty bearing here. So this little cheap bearing they give you. See that? How cheap that is versus that. Okay. Big difference. The only problem you're going to have, you have to use the oil pump gear from an 046. And you kind of have to, obviously with the washer and all that on her, you have to take this and bend this arm up. See this oil pump arm? You have to bend this up so it contacts the drum inside there. And when you're done, you might have to file this just a little bit so it doesn't stick out of the drum too much. Okay, now I've been running this setup here, probably about 4 cords of wood. I have not had an issue. Like I said, you're going to have to use an 046 oil pump gear, drum, and bearing, and that should work. Okay, let's see here. Go on to the coil. Now, these ignition coils, I think these are big issues on these saws. I've had 5 of these go bad, and they do different things. The first one was hard to start. It was like bog, 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 bog. You had to mess with it with the throttle, then it would be okay. Now, ignition coils on 2 strokes can be tricky to diagnose, but if you've got enough time messing with engines, you can usually pick them out pretty quick. Okay, and what happened to that coil? Quit running in the cut, got it started, and it was like misfiring. You hear ting, 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 ting. It's detonation. Start putting marks in the piston. You run it, it'll blow a hole right through that piston if you run it too long. Okay. Now I've seen a number of saw failures with that, with these 391, 311s. Okay. Each coil seems to have its own runnability traits. Whether they don't have these OEM coils made right, I don't know. But I do notice when they start to go bad, this motor starts to run hot. Okay? When it runs too hot, it'll cause that piston to expand. And you'll start putting marks in the top of your piston, and eventually it'll blow the saw. I ran this saw salvage coil in there. I got 3 tanks. So far, this seems to be the best coil. This is an aftermarket now. What you're going to have to do is probably cut this wire a little bit so you can run your top cover. It's pretty long. And after I got this it was running hot, and what I did is I retarded the ignition timing a little bit, about 2 degrees. That could be an issue with these saws, why these things have so many issues, because they have the timing too advanced. Now I just wanted to experiment to see what happened if I did 1 degree advanced, which on this saw it's this way, is advanced. Okay, 1 degree. I ran it for 40 seconds, not even in the wood, just idling a little bit, hitting trigger. This cylinder was super hot, and the muffler was so hot you couldn't even touch it, so it made it even worse, even hotter. Okay. Then whenever I retarded this timing, I went this way, 2 degrees. That's another video I'll get into. But it seemed like this run cooler. I did a bunch of cutting over the weekend. Ran about a tank. I got a lot of work done for 1 tank, and no issues. None. I could touch this when it was running, and seemed beautiful. The pistons seemed beautiful. Nice coating of oil on that piston and everything, and seemed good. But yeah, that's an issue. Now I'll just give you a little sampler of what I'm talking about. Your flywheel measurement for degrees. Okay. Now each flywheel is going to be different in your measuring how many degrees. You have to retard or advance the timing. Okay. You measure your diameter first. Okay. And then you multiply that by pi, which will give you your circumference in thousandths of an inch. Then you divide that number by 360, and that gives you how many degrees or how many thousandths of an inch per degree there is. Okay, so with that tool I made from here to that whole bolt hole right there, I come up with 75 thousandths per degree. This is what, with the tool that I made. Yes, timing tool. Okay, bolts right to the flywheel. All them marks. Okay, right here is 0. Okay, this is retarded over here. Yeah, it's a whole nother video, but thought I'd show you that, guys. Like I said, I think this flywheel timing and this one of the main issues with these saws. Besides the cylinder issue, there's a lot of cylinder issues, but well, guys, hope you find this video interesting. Till next time, guys, keep feeling the heat.